Hey, what's up guys? It's your good friend Airsoft Man 819 here again with yet another retro gaming review. Today's review is going to be on yet another Atari controller, something I never really thought I'd touch on again after 8 years, but the Atari recently has experienced a resurgence and there's a whole lot of new Atari stuff out there, which is really exciting for Atari nerds like me, so really happy to bring you guys this video. Now, this is going to be on the CX78 Plus wireless gamepad. Now, this is a modern take on the original Atari 7800 gamepad from Europe, the CX78 gamepad that actually did not get released here in the United States with the Atari 7800. We got the joystick variant of the controller that really wasn't quite as good. So it made this version of the controller, scarce, difficult to find, expensive, and not to mention it was wired, obviously, like all controllers at the time. So not only did Atari themselves bring this controller back, but they made it wireless, which is really freaking cool. And not only does it work with an original Atari hardware, obviously, it works with the 2600 Plus, it works with the 7800 Plus, and it has a USB dongle to work with the PC, and I'm assuming maybe a couple other consoles that might support it. I'm not quite sure. So here's the box. Really nice retro looking box. Definitely looks like something that could have existed back in the 80s, well, except for this stuff. But supports USB-C charging. Obviously it has a built-in rechargeable battery. This doesn't use the AA's or AAA's. It is rechargeable. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open the box up here. I can't really remember. Okay, it's this end that I have open already. So we'll go ahead and pull out our little package of dongles. Now, what is missing here is the actual Atari dongle. I have the USB dongle and the joystick attachment here. And I have the Atari dongle right here. This was actually in my Atari because I use this controller and have been using it. So you get an original 9-pin adapter for the Atari original hardware and the Atari 7800 and 2600 Plus. You also get a USB dongle for use on the PC and other USB devices that support this controller. You also get a joystick attachment, which is crucial for this controller. It's something that the original came with, so it's nice that they stuck to the faithfulness of the original and went ahead and included that. You also get an Atari branded charge cable. Okay, this is sealed, so I don't want to open it because I don't need it. I'm using other cables, but it's actually a pretty long USB cable, and it's also Atari branded. You might not be able to see it through there. There's actually little Atari branding on the actual cable. About an 8 to 9 foot USB cable. Definitely a nice inclusion for sure. Then obviously you get the controller itself. Little instruction card. Basically it explains how to sync the controller to whatever device you're playing it on. Go ahead and get the box and stuff out of the way. Here it is, upside down. This is the Atari CX7800 Plus controller. Really cool. Well, CX78, not 100, but yeah, you know what I mean. So, a brand new CX78. I can't really even believe I'm holding it. I can't believe this is something that exists, but it does. And honestly, I really wish I still had my original to compare this to, because they got it really freaking close. If anything, this version is a little bit better because the buttons and the D-pad are a little bit softer, not quite as stiff as the original, so it's a little bit easier on your thumb to rack on the D-pad. And overall, the D-pad on this actually feels better than the original. I wasn't too big on the D-pad on the original, and they definitely actually improved it without really changing the looks. It looks identical to the original, it just feels a little bit better. You can tell it's a little more modern. So obviously on the front you really don't have very much. You have the 1 and 2 buttons, which on 7800 games supports both buttons. On the Atari 2600 or most computers you would only use 1 button standard. Really nice chrome on the Atari logo there. they've actually included a brass thread inside of the D-pad there to thread the joystick on instead of just plastic. That's also an improvement. On the original CX78, it was plastic on plastic, where there's actually a metal piece inside the D-pad here that the joystick attachment screws into, and I'll demonstrate that now. You just screw this little attachment in here, and now instead of a D-pad, you have more of a joystick feel, which honestly, like I said, with this newer controller, really actually feels pretty decent, especially for older games that don't need that much precision. So really depends on your preference. Some people are going to prefer the D-pad mode, some people are going to prefer this joystick mode. Personally, I just use it in D-pad mode, but I know some people are going to like this joystick as well. So on the top, you have actually the sync light flashing right now, but you have your charge port, your sync button, and this is, I believe, the sync light. And I think this LED right here is one of the LEDs is for charging, and the other one is for syncing the controller. But that's what this button right here is for, holding it down to sync it to the device that you're using. And syncing the controller works the same, it doesn't really depend on which one of these you're using. It syncs the same way, and there's also a light on each of the adapters. So just bump the tripod a little bit there. Sorry guys, I'm a bit rusty. So as far as the buttons and the controls on the top, that really is all there is. You do have that, you know, stippling on the back of the controller right here where the buttons are to give you a bit of a better grip. You also have the little indentations for your thumb for the 1 and 2 buttons. Branding on the back just says CX78 Plus Wireless, made in China, 2024 Atari. Still really freaking cool that Atari came back to make something like this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my short review of the Atari CX78 Plus wireless joypad. And I definitely have more videos planned down the pipeline, especially centering around retro gaming, so stay tuned for that and other awesome content on the Airsoft Man 819 channel, and I will see you guys later.